Welcome, everybody. It's me, Dashama. I'm so excited to be here today. We're going to be talking about all of the unique astrology that's happening on the planet right now, as well as the full moon, which is coming up this week, as well as Guru Purnima, which is actually the full moon. But this is a very special full moon because according to the ancient Vedic science and spirituality, the full moon that comes directly after the summer solstice is the most powerful full moon of the entire year. And so we can all tap into the power of the energy of that. And today we'll be talking about that as well. So please feel free to post a comment if you have any questions along the way. And also because this session is part of the flow state tribe and community and also the teacher training. So if you're a part of the training program, please feel free to ask any questions. In the yoga teacher training that I have online, it has hundreds of hours of videos and content about meditation and yoga, EFT, breath work, Ayurveda, even Thai yoga massage, how to teach vinyasa flow and Kundalini yoga, and so much more. And I'm so excited about a lot of things that are coming up. In just a little bit, I'm going to share more about the National Yoga Month event that we're going to be hosting in September with Daily Yoga app and Muscle and Fitness magazine, actually. So we have a number of exciting things. I'm going to make some announcements today, but I just wanted to, before I get into any of that, just take a moment and say thank you for being here and thank you for being a part of our tribe and community. And I really love checking in on Sundays. We always go live every Sunday and we have an opportunity for everyone to connect and ask your questions or share what's going on with you. And it's also an opportunity that I created as a way for everyone to feel more interconnected and more to see that you're never alone, in this world. So anyway, just wanted to mention all of that. And like I said, if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to leave those in the comments. If you're on YouTube, definitely click the like button and subscribe to the channel, because when you click the like button or any of these things, what it does is it tells YouTube to share this video with more people, and then more people can find spirituality, yoga, and how to find a good, happy, healthy tribe of beautiful souls to connect with. Because I think that that's what humans want more than anything. I've done a lot of research, a lot of studying, and a lot of teaching over the past 17 to 20 years. And one of the things that I've learned is the basic human desire for all beings is to be happy. It sounds so simple, right? People just want to be happy. So why is it that people are so unhappy? And or why do you think that there's so much suffering in the world if the major desire of all beings is to be happy? Have you ever thought about that? Post a comment if you have, and we can start a little conversation around that just for a moment, because whenever we think about why would we do any practices, for example, for the full moon or any kind of thing that we might do collectively as a community to kind of like get into a certain energy, like you really want to always think of the deeper intention. And so I have several intentions that I'll share with you that I have, but also feel free to share your intentions as well, because your intentions are so powerful and they can really set your life in a whole new trajectory. And that's what this month is all about. Actually, if you might have seen people talking about this, but July is a month of, it's like a portal month is what they call it, especially when we get towards the end of July, because when you get towards the end of July, what you're actually going to see is we're going to go into the Lion's Gate portal. So that's between July 22nd all the way till August 12th. So that's coming up. So everything right now is kind of preparing for that. And the energy is moving in that direction. And it's really, really cool and interesting. And at the same time, if you can align with the energy of the universe that's really powerful right now, then some of your dreams, goals, or desires can manifest more easily because you're aligning with the power of the universe. So let's talk really quickly about Guru Purnima. Guru Purnima is coming up this week. I'm actually so excited. I'm going to be going to Sadhguru's property. He has a big, I guess you could say, ashram sort of thing. It's not really an ashram because a little different. But anyway, they have a big temple there, and he's going to be there this week, and they're doing a big event for Guru Purnima. Guru Purnima is what it really kind of translates to mean is Purnima has to do with the moon, and Guru is to unveil the darkness, or to unveil any kind of like illusion, or in yoga there's a word Maya. So Maya is where if you have a veil covering your ability to see, so they call that a veil. And in Guru Purnima, it's an opportunity to remove the veil and to see things as they are, and to see the truth. And from that place of truth and clarity, it's so powerful, because then you can move forward in a better direction. Like if certain things weren't working, if certain relationships weren't flowing, or with opportunities, maybe you've been getting opportunities, but you didn't know if you should move forward with that or not, or maybe you're hesitating for some reasons. And so this is a great time to get clear on all of that. And you might just notice that it's also an extra sensitive time, because we're in the month of the Cancerian month of July, which I was born in July. Actually, my birthday was just 2 days ago. I am officially 1 year older. And anyway, so being a Cancerian born in July, I've always noticed that I have a very, very sensitive emotional energy. Now, if you feel sensitive as well, post a comment, let us know if that's also describing you, because some people are super sensitive and then some people are not sensitive at all. And those two kinds of people tend to attract each other and then trigger each other, because the sensitive person is like feels everything, and then the person that's not sensitive tends to hurt them a lot. And it's not intentional at all. But I really do believe that this kind of happens to bring about more self-awareness for both parties. So if you have that experience happening in your life, or ever have, you might notice that, and then just kind of like realize it is what it is. So instead of thinking like, oh, this is happening to me, or feeling a victim of it, just seeing the clarity of, okay, that's how that person is. Let me take more responsibility for how I respond. And this has been a big theme for me my whole life, is that, if you're very sensitive, you might tend to react and be like, push away from people that feel like they're hurting you. And in the end of the day, really, like, actually, according to the Kabbalah and a lot of spiritual teachings, the only true sign of spiritual evolution is whether you're able to not react to what happens in life. What do you think about that? This is like a profound thing that's so simple, right? Like, to be evolving spiritually, our only true indication is whether or not we're able to take a step back from the experience of whatever's happening in life, and instead of react to it, just respond, you could call it, or some people call it being more proactive. So instead of reactive, which is like something happens and then you react to it, which is like usually being angry or upset or hurt or all these things, instead taking a step back and being like, okay, what is this teaching me? Why is this happening? Like, how can I take responsibility for the way that this is unfolding? And then being more on the proactive side, you say, okay, I'm going to take responsibility for how this is unfolding in my life, and also not take it too personally. And that's the other thing. I think so often, like when we have conflict in the world, and that can be anything, even as big as like the Ukraine-Russia situation, there's conflict in the world everywhere. But like, if you have that in your life, you want to look at it and say, how can I take responsibility for this? And what can I learn here? And what is this teaching me? And perhaps maybe it's just teaching compassion. Maybe it's teaching to let go. Maybe it's teaching to surrender more, or maybe it's teaching to take your power back and not let people take advantage of you, or not let people whatever it is. So everyone has their unique situations, right? But like, ultimately, everyone faces all of these things. So you're never alone, just know that. And sometimes that gives me great comfort to know, oh, okay, I'm not the only person that has faced really incredible suffering situations. But one of the things that I learned over the path of spirituality is that whether or not things happen in our lives that are difficult are beyond our control. But what we can only control is how we react or respond, and whether we choose to grow from that. And if we can do that, if we can grow from it, if we can really gain the wisdom, not react, but just respond and come from a place of compassion for the other people, even, or for the other situations, or even if you don't want to have compassion, like for example, in Russia, Ukraine situation, you wouldn't want to, like, for example, say, oh, I have compassion for the Russian government. No, they're clearly wrong in that, right? They're bombing people for no reason. So the point is that sometimes it's not that somebody needs compassion. Sometimes what they need is like the other side needs more support. And so one thing that I've seen, because I have a lot of friends that are helping with the Russian-Ukraine situation, is that now a lot of people are banding together to help Ukraine, which is so amazing. And I really feel when I tap into the bigger vision of why something like that could be happening on the planet at this time on Earth, I feel the reason it's happening is to actually unify the rest of the world to stand for Ukraine and to stand for those who need to be supported in life. And it's really an opportunity for people to come together and for people to help others in a bigger way and to be of service, and even if it's just to pray. So we're going to do that together as well today. We're going to send some prayers to the whole world. We're going to send the prayers to all the 8 billion people on the planet today. We'll do a little bit of sound healing with my chalice, which I love to play. And I want to talk a little bit more about the astrology. But if you guys have any questions, hey, thank you, by the way. Ipati is saying happiness is a state of mind, a way of being, and it is free. Although there are sad times in life. Happy birthday, Dashama. Thank you so much. I love you, and I really appreciate your beautiful message. So yeah, it's really an interesting time on Earth, and I've been talking about this for several years. And it's really interesting because 5 years ago, or 5 or 6 years ago, I was looking at the astrology of the next 5 to 10 years, which is current, this is like right now, what's happening on the Earth. And even also last year when I was with Sadhguru, he was saying the same thing. But 5 years ago, I saw Pluto and Saturn becoming conjunct, which means that Pluto, the planet of darkness and power, conjunct Saturn, which is the kind of like masculine energy of structure and order and government, and all of that energy is very masculine. It's very intense. It's a very intense energy, both of those. That's why when your Saturn return comes around, it's like a hard time. Usually whatever needs to be healed will come up. So anyway, Saturn and Pluto came together in the universe literally next to each other. So I mean, they're not like directly next to each other because obviously they're like millions of light years apart, but they were aligned exactly aligned. And the thing with Pluto is it moves so slow. It stayed kind of near Saturn for like several years. That's why we've had a pandemic. That's why we have the wars. That's why we had like this huge global uprising with the children, with Greta Thunberg, and around the environment. Literally, like all of these things that are coming up, whether you realize it or not, this is happening as it's like this intensity of Saturn and Pluto is pushing all of the darkness that needs to be brought to the light to the surface. Now, when you're going through something like that, now you could take this also on a personal level and think, how has that been happening in my life, right? What energy of darkness has been coming up for you, for example, or for any of us, to see it, heal it, release it, and then move forward after that. But basically these last couple years has been an intense purification process and transformation experience for humanity and for the Earth. And the reason is because of this planetary alignment between Pluto and Saturn, which I talked about 5 years ago, and I've been talking about that for many years ever since then. But anyway, so because of that, it's still kind of happening. Like right now, Pluto just started going retrograde. So what that means is that it's going a little bit, it looks to be going backwards. What that really means is it looks to be and is energetically feels that it's getting closer to Saturn. The reason that that matters is that it feels like maybe things are going to get a little more intense before they get easier. So the whole transit, this whole thing is supposed to be kind of complete in 2024. So that's not like around the corner. That's still a year and a half away. So for anybody who's predicting like, oh, it's going to get better tomorrow, well, it is what it is. We make of our life whatever we make of it, right? So whatever's happening in life, we get to choose. Is it feel good or does it feel painful? That's our opportunity. One of the things that I love so much about, I went and did an amazing 4-day workshop with the woman who's the founder of the Oneness Temple in India. Her name is Preetaji, and it's a wonderful experience. If you ever get to do it, it's 4 days. It's called the Field of Awakening. And one day it's all about ancestral karma, and one day it's all about past lives or something. And then like another time, it's like 4 days. Each one goes deep into a certain aspect of your consciousness for healing and to release any kind of suffering from there. But the idea is this, that pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. I just want to let that sink in for a second. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. What does that really mean? Well, suffering is when you take pain and you like dwell on it and you stretch it out and it keeps lasting, right? It's like, oh, this like never ending. So it's like the difference between sadness and grief. So sadness, like let's say you lose somebody, like my mother passed away many years ago now. She passed away, I think 15 years ago. But when she passed away, I mean, it was tremendously sad. But the problem with me is because I held on to that sadness and I really internalized it on many levels, it turned into grief. And then the grief of that was very difficult to heal. And so that's the difference between having pain, that's a temporary state, and suffering, which is more of a prolonged state. So we want to get to a place in life that we are not ever suffering. And the way to do that is when you feel pain, deal with it right away. Meaning do what you need to do. You got to heal it. You should do some therapy around it, breath work, hypnosis, NLP, EFT. There's all these different ways that can help to release trauma. If you had something happen, right? If you get in a car accident or somebody hurts you or you lose someone, whatever it is, deal with it right away, because otherwise it sets in. And then once it sets into consciousness and it sets into your kind of like fabric of your memory, and then what happens is we replay it over and over. So the mind and the consciousness starts to really feel like not just that this thing happened once, but it happened 100 times or 1,000 times, however many times you've thought about it, replayed that story in your consciousness is how many times your actual self feels that you've experienced that. So for example, if you were in a car accident, this happened to me when I was 18, I was riding my bicycle and a car hit me going 45 miles per hour. It damaged my spine, and that's how I ended up getting scoliosis. Luckily for me, and gratefully, I ended up healing my scoliosis with yoga, and that's what really started me on my path. But the point is that when that happened, I remember thinking about it many years, like thinking back on it, the pain of it, like kind of almost feeling a victim of it too. Like there was just feelings of just bad feelings about it. And then I kept going back to it. So revisiting suffering memories is the worst possible thing to do, because what you're doing is you're reliving it. And then in the reliving of it, your soul and your mind and your heart and your physical body and the chemistry all believes that you've experienced it multiple times. So it like hardens and deepens and amplifies the trauma and the pain of it. So anyway, this is kind of like everybody experiences this on some level at some point in life. But one thing that I'm really passionate about, because it's been something that's helped me so much, is how do you go in and actually heal that, right? So if you have something that happened, whether somebody passed away that you love, maybe even a dog or a parent or some friends, or could be, like I was saying, something happened to you, whatever it was, could be in childhood, could be in the recent time. You know, July is a great month to focus on healing that, because we're in the Cancerian energy. So it's where about the feelings, about the emotions. So if emotions come up, if feelings come up, this is a great opportunity and timing to really look at that and address it and go to the core of that. And that's what I really encourage everybody, especially people that are in my trainings and my programs, is that, that's what life is about. You're really like, we're all here to evolve. And part of the evolutionary process is healing and letting go of these old programs, old stories, broken links of consciousness that could be holding us back from being our highest and best self. Because truly, you have a destiny that is beyond your wildest dreams. I really believe that every being comes to this earth with a destiny, with a purpose, and all of these stories and these programs and these traumas and this like blocked energy is what I like to call it. Like the blocked energy is what holds everyone back from achieving or experiencing their highest and best life. Now, maybe you're already experiencing your highest and best life. And if so, I really hope so. I mean, honestly, I think we all are on a certain level, but then you want to go into a more expansive potentiality for yourself. Like, what if there was even more that you could be experiencing for your life? Heightened states of joy, heightened states of bliss and ecstasy, heightened contribution and impact into the lives of others and the planet, heightened levels of freedom and abundance on a daily basis, heightened levels of intimacy and depth of connection. Like these are what's available for all of us in this life. So if there's any aspect of any of that you might say, okay, I could go, focus on that a little bit, amplify and clear out some cobwebs, and then get into even a higher vibration. That's what I'm all passionate about. In the Flow State Institute, that's what we really do. So even if you're already living on a very high level of consciousness and like living your best life in certain ways, there's always a next level to grow to. And that's what makes life exciting. If there was no next level to grow to, if there was nothing to look forward to, if you were already there and like didn't have anything really to grow or to, learn even in this life, I think your life would just be a flat line, right? So instead of feeling that we're already there, I like to look at life like it's a continuous journey. That's why they say life's a journey, not a destination. So as we're all on this path of life, so think about what area of your life would you like to really amp it up? And is there any aspect within what you're experiencing in life right now that you feel is holding you back from your greatest potential? Now, those two questions, and in fact, some people say, actually, some of the most enlightened people I've ever met usually say the same thing. The quality of your life is highly dependent upon the quality of questions that you ask life and yourself. So if you get really good at asking questions, ask yourself these kinds of questions. What areas of my life am I ready to grow to the next level? Are there areas or aspects of my life experience that I'm ready to heal and resolve? Whatever questions that come to you are wonderful, but just really get good at asking questions. You could do this in your journal as well. If you wake up in the morning or right before bed, writing in a journal is such a powerful way to and in the teacher training for the Flow State Institute, we have the Miracle Morning is a really great ritual to get into. So you do in the morning this whole practice of, journaling and just getting clear. What are you working on? And this is one of the best advice that I received from, I think, Robin Sharma, but I'm not sure. It was somebody like a success coach. And he said, okay, if you were going to write down, no, you know who it was? Warren Buffett. He's like one of the richest people in the world. And he said, if what you're going to do, write down the top 100 things that you really feel you want to create in this life. Create, contribute, whatever you want to call that. Experience 100 things. And then cross off the last 95 and focus your whole energy on the first 5. That doesn't mean like, I really want to go to Bali, and then that's one of your 5. No. So I think one of the 5 would be something like travel the world, which would include go to Bali, right? So be less specific. But for example, let's say you want to contribute to make a difference in the lives of children. That would be a good one because it's kind of general, but it's also kind of specific because it's in the aspect of contributing. It's in your kind of like giving back category, but at the same time, it's specific. It's about children, for example. that's what I'm passionate about with the children of the future. So when I got really clear on that, I was like, oh, okay, so that's making it so much easier to say yes to certain things and to say no to certain things. It's also making it easier to align with certain people and to stop aligning with other people. For example, if they're not on the same path, if they're not on the same trajectory of life, not to say cut all those people off. I mean, you can stay friends with them, but it's highly distracting to have a lot of people in your life that are in no way, shape, or form aligned with where you see yourself growing to. So this is another huge aspect of growth, right? Is letting go of relationships that are not really aligned. It doesn't mean that they can't be your friend and, you can hang out and stuff. But I guess what I'm trying to say is at the end of the day, as you're creating your life, as you're formulating this path of life that you have only one life in this body, and it's ticking by in a sense, meaning like time is of the essence, and at the same time there's no such thing as time, so we know that we are eternal. But at the same time, we know that if we waste a lot of years with the wrong people in the wrong direction, not to say we're going to regret it, but you're going to look back and you'd be like, oh wow, if I could have made this change early on, if I could have did this little thing different, if I would have aligned with these people, if I would have stopped aligning with these people, or whatever it is. Sometimes it's a relationship. Sometimes you're like, yeah, it's time to end this because, we're growing in a different direction, for example, whatever it is. But just recognizing that we are the captains of our ship. We are the creators of our reality. And it's up to us, it's up to you to make those decisions. And sometimes it takes a lot of strength. And sometimes it's really great if you have support as you're making these types of decisions. Leave a comment if you have any questions or comments about what we're talking about right now, because this is kind of a deep topic. I mean, it has a lot to do with like your friend group, what your purpose of life, everything that you're focused on. And it's a really broad topic, but at the same time, these are the big questions that can be coming up in your life around this time, especially because it's the Cancerian Guru Purnima, and we have all of this heightened energy this week. So the Guru Purnima is, I think it's Tuesday. So it's the 12th, 13th. It's like in that period, depending on what time zone you're in. And it's the full moon. So during the full moon every year or every month, the full moon is a heightened energy. We've talked about this a million times. If you've been following me at all, you know that the full moon is a heightened energy. So what does that really mean? It means that because the moon has the power to move the tides of the ocean, every body of water is affected by the moon. And that includes us. We are over 70% water. So we are tremendously impacted by the energy of the moon, all phases of the moon, but especially the full moon, because the full moon is when it has the most power and it moves a lot of energy. And so they say emotion is energy in motion. So we are emotional beings and we have water in us, and then we have the moon moving those tides. On top of that, we have, like we were just talking about, a destiny, a purpose of life, and free will. So we have all of these things happening. So the key, I feel, this week, if you want to optimize your energy and amplify your manifestation skills or ability, is to meditate on Tuesday, particularly Tuesday evening is the best time to do it. That's the heightened time of the Guru Purnima, the full moon of this very powerful, it's the most powerful full moon of the year. And really get clear. So before you do the meditation, or even after, whenever you want, but just journaling those things that we talked about earlier, the questions, the deeper questions that you want to ask of your soul and of God, and ask these questions and listen for the answer. So they say that prayer is when you talk to God and meditation is when you listen to God. So prayer and meditation are basically a dance, and it's two sides to the same coin. It's literally having a conversation with the source of life, downloading the wisdom from that amazing energy, and then not just like, oh, okay, I got the message now, but applying that. And that's really what makes all the difference. So many of us, leave a comment if this has ever happened to you. So many people, so many of us, you get a message, We'll call this intuition. You can get intuition, you can get a psychic message, you can get literally a full vision message where it's like, you know what's happening and still ignore it. Did you ever have that happen? Have you ever done that? Leave a comment if you've ever done that. And like the thing is, when we ignore our intuition, what we're doing is we're cutting ourselves off from the divine guidance of God and the source of life. And literally almost every time my phone is full, almost every time that we ignore our intuition, what happens is we end up suffering. So I just want to encourage that as well, because during this meditation communication with the source of life, what we really have an opportunity to do is be guided by a higher power that knows what is best for us. And so if you listen to that and then apply the guidance, then what's going to happen is I think that will give life a lot more flow, right? So the more we listen and are guided by the divine source, then we get into more of a flow state. So the flow state is when we're in alignment with the universe, we are listening. So we have this continuous communication and conversation with the divine or with the source of life. And then we're actually listening to that, and not just listening, but taking heed and taking actions that are going to be beneficial for your life and for your family and for everyone around. But when we ignore that or avoid that, what happens is we usually get into some kind of like trouble, whatever it is. So always listen to your intuition. That's number one, and check into it. Here's a little sort of way. I mean, I'm still working on this all the time because I get messages and sometimes I don't listen either, so I've noticed that about myself. That's what made me want to talk about this today, because I was like, wow, I wish that I would have listened to the intuition that I got last year. I should have went to, for example, I'm going to Hawaii this week. I should have went to Hawaii a year ago when I first got back from Bali, because now I have to go there now, and like certain things became more challenging because I waited a year. So anyway, listening to the intuition, being guided by the source of life within, and then trusting. I think that's the third step that's super important. You can call it trust, you can call it letting go, or you can call it surrender, whatever word feels most resonant. Trust, let go, and surrender, all three, you could even say, to the divine unfoldment, the blossoming of the lotus, the divine unfoldment of life. And this is something that's so difficult, right? Because we always want to control life. We're like, no, I am the captain here and I'm going to control life. But instead of controlling life, I think the most important thing is we can still navigate the ship, but allow the source to be the guiding, right? There is a guidance that's available to you. Do you feel that? Leave a comment if you hear that guidance and you listen to that guidance in your life, or if you've had challenges with this, because these are all part of the process of evolution. And the more we are able to get quiet, listen to that voice, then our life can become a continuous stream of miracles. According to the Course of Miracles, it's like a very big book talking about this, is that our lives should actually always be miracles happening every day, because we are a miracle. Like, you are a miracle. Your entire life is a miracle. The fact that you're alive, the fact that you were born, the fact that that one little sperm chose that one little egg, and at that one moment you became a soul, came into this embryo and then became a human, that's a miracle. Whether we see it or not, whether we spend moments every day reflecting on the miracle of life, I encourage that we all do that, because ultimately your life is a miracle. Now, just starting with that, your life is already a miracle, and then realizing the more that we can become subtilized to have a continuous conversation with our highest self, with the source of life, which I call God or the universe, and then be guided from there, then miracles can show up every single day. I'll give you an example of a miracle that happened to me recently. I was outside on the beach, which is, I live on the beach. So every morning I get up and I go with Mia Moore, my puppy, because she needs to go on her walk. So we go to the beach, and it's usually between 6:30 and 8 a.m. So it's like 6:30, 7 a.m. And this was recently. So we were walking along the beach and then we sit down, we're just going to meditate. And we were meditating and this man came out of nowhere. It was really interesting because he was the only other person on the beach for like miles, and it was so beautiful. It was like so calm, and it was the sun was rising because we're in the East Coast, so the sun rises on this side over the ocean in the morning around 7 o'clock. And this man comes up, and Mia Moore goes up to him, and she's like playing with him, and he loves dogs apparently, so he started playing with her. And it was like morning, and it was just such a cute thing. He comes up to me. Turns out he's this little Italian guy. He looked like maybe around 80 years old. He's super cute little Italian guy, maybe 70. Anyway, and we started talking, and he's like, oh, you got to come visit in Italy. And he invited me to his house in Italy. And I was like, that's amazing. I love Italian, everything Italian. And Mia Moore, her name even has an Italian name, Amore, because I call her Amore. But anyway, so long story short, we started talking. It turns out, because I was like, yeah, what are you here for? He was telling me he's literally one of the top architects in the entire world. In fact, he was given the award architect of the year of the whole world by like Time magazine or something. Like, it was a really big thing. He created a design of a building called dynamic architecture. So dynamic architecture, I'll share more about this as it starts to become developed, because it's actually going to happen. So it's this building, and the building is basically the most interesting thing, because every floor on the building rotates. Because one of the oldest kind of like things about buildings is like half of the units of any building will face have a better view than the other half, right? Because the ones on the other side are facing the other way. So for example, if you're on the beach, half of the units face the ocean, half of the units don't face the ocean. And he was like, this is interesting. Like, why don't they make so that the floor will rotate, so that every unit, right? Everybody's apartment or condo or whatever, or in a hotel, whatever you want to say, everyone rotates. So at some point during the day, everyone has the same view. Therefore, all of the units become equally valuable and also really great. So anyway, he has this amazing architectural design that he created, that he has patented. It's called dynamic architecture, and basically where every floor rotates. And then, so because the floors are rotating, then the whole building changes shape all day long. And so anyway, he's developing this amazing building, and it's going to be like, I don't know, hundreds of millions or even $1 billion project. It's a really big project, and he's building it in Miami. And then he ended up inviting me to be a part of the project. Anyway, so I'll share more about that later, but it was just a moment of miracle that I wanted to share, in the sense of the fact that I was the only one on the beach. He was literally the only one that morning. And when I asked him, he said, that was the only morning I walked on the beach. He's like, I never woke up that early, hardly ever. Like, he doesn't get up at 6 a.m. and go walk on the beach. That's not something he ever does. And he doesn't actually live here. He lives in Italy. It was a very interesting and good example of a miracle. And when we say miracle, it could be something small or something big. I would say that's like a little medium miracle. I mean, big miracles are like when you have a miracle of health, for example. Like this guy I know, Ryan Blair. He's a very famous author and entrepreneur, and he posted the other day, his son got COVID, and then he posted it. He said, please pray for my son, because he's got COVID and he's not doing well, and he was in the hospital. And he posted a picture of his son. And long story short was that he got like 100,000 people shared this photo and liked it and stuff. It was a very, very interesting thing, because none of his other posts ever got 100,000 people liking it. I mean, they all get like 400. So this was, first of all, people really stepping up to support the energy of healing for this child. And then also truly sending prayers, like thousands, hundreds of thousands of comments of prayers. And literally within 2 days, he posted again saying, thank you so much for all your prayers. My son is healed and he's coming home today from the hospital. And it was just such a great example, because literally 2 days, I mean, it didn't take that long. And the kid was healed. And I do believe, and there's been science that talked about this, the Maharishi effect is a research project that was done to show the power of prayer and distance healing and sending love to others, and how powerful that is, that we could do that and we can literally affect the entire energy of the planet just by sending healing, loving prayer energy from our home. You know, you can literally be at your home, you can be doing whatever you want to do or wherever you are right now, and you can literally send healing to the whole world. So we're going to do that right now as our Guru Purnima meditation today. And we're going to start with just a few breaths. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Inhale deeply and exhale. Inhale and exhale. 2 more like that. Inhale deeply all the way to your belly. And exhale out of your mouth. 1 more breath like that. Inhale all the way to your belly. And exhale. And just allowing your body to relax, to let go of any tension, any stress out of your body. Feel your heart opening. We're going to do 5 more breaths, but just this time into the heart area with the nose, inhaling, exhaling out of the mouth. Inhale. And when you get to the top of the inhale, hold it in. And then after a few moments, exhale. And just touch the silence at the end of the exhale. Inhale deeply. Hold it at the top. And exhale. Inhale. Hold it at the top. Feel your heart expanding. And exhale. 1 more breath like that. Inhale. Hold it at the top. Exhale, let it all go. Just closing your eyes for a moment. Go back to regular breathing. Start to feel your heart expanding. Feel the openness that you've created just from these few breaths. The power of the breath to open the heart, to feel more interconnected to yourself, to your soul, to the source of life, to your friends, to your family, to humanity at large, to Mother Earth and nature and the entire cosmic universe. And start to feel that interconnectedness between yourself and the oneness of existence. The infinite, eternal nature of the soul, of the divine source of life. Feeling connected to that, one with that, merging into your highest self and seeing life from that lens. Seeing your life from the lens of beauty, of love, of miracles. We're just going to visualize a bright, white, radiant light coming from above the crown of the head. This is the light of love, the light of God, the light of truth, the light of your highest self. And then allowing it to travel into your mind space, filling your entire mind space with this beautiful, radiant light of love, of God, of truth. In your mind, compassion, forgiveness, and joy in your heart. We're going to start to bring your palms to in front of your chest and just facing outwards, visualize that bright light coming down from the infinite expansive universe into the crown of your head, so that you are a conduit, a vessel of light. And that light coming through your mind, clearing your mind, releasing any negative thoughts, any old programs, any old patterns, any beliefs that are not serving you, and just clearing the mind completely for a fresh start today. And then just sending that healing, loving, beautiful, radiant light and love energy out from your heart center. Take a deep breath into your heart. And as you exhale, releasing and just sending this beautiful feeling of energy, love, and compassion from your heart to all 8 billion people on the planet, all the children who need love and healing and support. May they have all the food, water, shelter, love, support, home, connection, friendship, joy, laughter, creativity, all that they need and desire, flowing to all the beings, all children, all families, all the parents, all beings, all the animals, every sentient being on this earth, feeling this loving, compassionate, beautiful, miraculous, energizing, healing, divine light flowing from your heart out to all 8 billion people on this earth, and all living beings in all galaxies and all dimensions, all space-time continuums. We call upon the divine light to heal all the hearts in the world, all the souls reunited as one. We see peace and harmony restored on earth. All conflict and war is over. All homes are restored to their full loving capacity for all beings to grow, to flourish, to experience the greatest possible life experience every day in every way. Feel that for all the children, and feel them as their smiles lighten up and they feel this love that you're sending. They feel this support that you're sending, and they know that they are not alone. They are never alone, and they are always provided for, always cared for, protected, safe, secure, encouragement, loving energy flowing in the hearts and the minds of all beings on the planet. Happiness and joy, peace and harmony, love and compassion, filling your heart, filling your mind, and then flowing from your heart and mind to the divine energy, filling every child, every being with this love and this light. In authenticity and truth and presence and connection, creativity, confidence, in all of the beautiful energy of the divine universe flowing to you and through you as you merge with that light. Feel your own expansive nature as you connect to the infinite, eternal source of life within you. And taking a deep breath in and exhale. We're going to complete our meditation with 3 ohms today. Om is a primordial sound that connects all beings together. So inhale deeply. The first one is for yourself. So sending Om into yourself is a healing energy. Inhale deeply, inhale. And this energy going into your cells, every cell of your being. The next one is for your friends and your family and your community. Inhale. And the last one is for the whole world, just sending it out to all beings, all the children, all the families, all sentient beings in this world and beyond. Inhale deeply. And so it is. Satnam, Namaste. Om Shalom, infinite blessings to all you beautiful people. Thank you for joining us today. For everyone who had been asking about our weekly live session, it's Sunday, every Sunday, 10 a.m. Also, I'm so excited. We're going to be back in Bali live for a 10-day yoga teacher training and retreat. If you've been dreaming about going on a life-changing experience with me, I will be in Bali this fall, and you can learn more and apply to join us at flowstate.yoga/apply. So flowstate.yoga/apply and join us for this life-changing, life-enhancing immersion into all of the miracles, all of the abundance and the blessings of the divine source of life that lives within you. We're going to be doing these practices 8 to 10 hours every day, as well as having amazing food, getting massages, going to temples, and experiencing truly a life-changing and miraculous journey together. So we're going to be over there in November, 10 days. And you could also do the online training if you'd like to deepen your practice. And we have hundreds of hours of online video content for you to practice along with me. And you can deepen, heal, and evolve in so many ways, and then learn how to share this with others. And that is the greatest gift we can offer others, is our own energy, our healing, our guidance, our love. In this program at Flow State Yoga Teacher Training, and our programs that we have are all geared towards doing that, spreading love, spreading joy, spreading healing to the world. And also, we're going to be launching the 30-day yoga challenge in September for National Yoga Month. So we have September coming up, and every year that's National Yoga Month. It's a national holiday dedicated for people to deepen their yoga practice and start a daily practice. So join us for a 30-day yoga challenge. We're going to be doing it with the Daily Yoga app. Also, like I think I mentioned earlier, Muscle and Fitness magazine and a number of partners. And you can join it right in the Flow State Yoga app as well, which is in the App Store. You can download the app for free, and you can join the 30-day yoga challenge in the app. And what else is going on? Yeah, so I hope to see you in Bali. It's going to be a life-changing experience. We've had so many people reaching out to me over the years, like, are you going to do Bali again? And now I feel it's a lot safer to travel. So this is a good timing. And I'm really excited because everybody who comes to Bali is also going to get a healing session with my favorite healer in Bali. His name is Tino, and Tino has been the healer of all my groups for the past 12 years. He's literally a miraculous healer. He even helped one of my students get her hearing back when she had lost her hearing, and another one, she had lost part of her sight. He helped her to get her eyesight back. So he's able to do just the most miraculous healing. And he's available to us while we're in Bali. So I look forward to introducing you to him and to sharing a journey with you. And if you know anybody who might be looking for a life-changing, transformational journey like that, feel free to let them know. We also have an affiliate program where you can earn 10% or 20%, depending on the programs that you do, referrals, of any programs that you refer your friends to that we offer. And so you can earn money for spreading love and healing. Let's see. Ren says, Namaste, Dashama, joyous, belated born day, blessings and abundance always. Thank you, my friend. And thank you, Jean, for your beautiful messages as well. And thank you everybody for joining us today. And yeah, I'll be on a kind of a long trip moving forward. Today I'm flying to Tennessee to be at the Guru Purnima event with Sadhguru, and my dad is actually coming too. And then I'll be going out to Hawaii for a few days to take care of some business, and then going to see my sister's new baby in San Francisco, and so many other things. So anyway, I'll be keeping you informed, hopefully along the journey. Hopefully I'll be getting my Instagram back too soon, but we'll see. Anyway, until then, we can stay connected right here on YouTube. Either way, and I send you so much love. Many blessings. Namaste. Have a great day.